This year we're taking a look at Georgia Tech, and of course Georgia Tech, somehow they just keep showing up and they just continue to beat the hell out of teams from Florida. This time it's Miami. Last video we had was against Florida State, and Florida State's actually proved they're an absolutely awful team. But anyway, we're going to look at Georgia Tech. They have a great run game. They really controlled the ball. And right here, the very first series right here, second 11. So second play of the game, they're in a little bit of GT, a little bit of funky formation. So they had trips over here. They're unbalanced. He motions across, and they just split flow, but they're running GT to the right. So right here ends up being a great job getting the movement here on that nose all the way to the backside. Here should be a kick and then leading to the front side linebacker. And right here, as you see, tries the wrong shoulder. Great read here by the tackle, getting around that up to the linebacker, running back, hitting that thing vertical. And now, hey, it's just athletes in space. This safety's not ready to play right here. Second play of the game, he ain't really feeling it yet as far as coming down to make a tackle and just gets outran. Great play right here by this running back. Good patience, and of course the box is pretty light. A little bit of funky formation. Hit this thing vertical once they get the kick. Miami's able to get him down, but of course explosive play there to start the game there for Georgia Tech. Puts him down inside the 20 of Miami. Same drive, very similar play. This time, instead of being unbalanced with motion a guy across, another unbalanced, they motion this guy around in some tail motion where they could possibly throw that to him, but still, hey, it's GT to the right. So basically the exact same play. He's going right here. Again, here's the guard that's pulling. There's your outside linebacker. They're going to come to kick. And right here, he squeezes, again, wrong shoulder. So they must have known they're going to wrong shoulder that. Tackle flows around over the top. Here's the linebacker. There was the motion. It widened out of safety right here. Again, running back, let that guy wrong shoulder it. Great, let's go ahead and bounce to that C gap. Get behind that puller. That's what happens right here. Tackle gets a little caught up, but right there, still a kick. We're going vertical. Here's a safety flying down, trying to make a play. So again, makes a hard stick, runs through an arm tackle right there. Waltz in the end zone. Starting the game off right there for Georgia Tech. Touchdown, just run the GT there early in the game. Had a ton of success, just like they did pretty much the entire game running the football. Before we keep looking at just the run game and different things that Georgia Tech was able to do well, of course, 28 to 23 win for Georgia Tech, but really the box score is indicative. You see third downs. The big thing, they had 9 of 14, so 64% there on third down. Miami was 30%, 3 of 10, and of course, you're looking at it, Miami's just threw the ball over the yard, 348 to 99. Georgia Tech, we'll look at some of their passes. They were pretty efficient, 11-16 passing, but obviously not as explosive. But they leaned on the run game. You see 271 rushing for Georgia Tech to 88 for Miami. Huge advantage there. And that's how you get 65% on third down. You're able to run the football, getting in great position there to convert on third downs, third and shorts. And, of course, you look at time of position. Miami, 25-11. To 34-49, so really controlled the game. Even though it was only a one-score game, Georgia Tech, they did exactly what they wanted as far as slowing the game down, making it fewer possessions, and being the more physical football team. Having looked at that first series, a couple of GT runs that were huge. Now we're just going to keep looking at the run game from Georgia Tech. And, of course, very dynamic here with the quarterback. And that's really the biggest thing that allowed Georgia Tech to run the football like they did. Those quarterbacks were playing extremely well, especially running the football. But right here, make a light counter, so you're pulling the guard. Pull that fullback for a couple steps, and then he works back around. Somebody came at me and was like, oh, this is an H-back. Okay, yeah, okay, whatever, man. It's a fullback. He's working back that way. Back's faking like a counter there. And now quarterback's wheeling out the edge. Everybody else is pinning. So you see right here, receiver pinning that outside linebacker so he can't get back in on that play. And you've got that fullback who started on the counter, working back over here. And everybody's working that way. So basically it's a one-man reverse. Still have a guy free. But right here, these quarterbacks did a great job all night making these guys miss. And that's what happens right here. This Miami defender, and they struggle tackling in space all day. Another guy just whiffs on the quarterback or the running back. Another guy right there just ripping his shirt. But again, this is on a 1st and 10, creating 10, 12 yards on basically a one-man reverse on this. A lot of times you see that exact action, and they toss it back to a guy. But this time, just quarterback keeps it. And gets on the edge. And again, one of the many times of the day where Miami just falters as far as tackling. They don't do a great job with their fundamentals, closing space, coming to balance, and being able to change directions with the ball carrier. Great play there by Georgia Tech. And that's Haynes King right there getting a first down on that one-man reverse there for Georgia Tech. Haynes King again, this time again, running counter. So everything that we've seen so far is counter. This time pulling the guard, pulling the fullback here to lead in. They're reading this edge. Now, if everybody squeezes down on this down block like typically you'd play counter, he would toss this ball out on the edge. But instead, you see he's widening. He's on that, so good hard fake. This is a great job here by the quarterback. Boom, fake that thing hard. Make that guy wide, and that helps out as far as the run scheme. Of course, everybody's blocking back, down. These guys are going to double there, up, pull the kick, pulling the lead on the linebacker. Probably this guy flying down right here. There's your read, this cat right here. And if he widens, cool. Let's pump it, go vertical, Pretty good movement right there. And again, 2nd and 1. Easy first down there, quarterback run. This is a great design here from Georgia Tech. And this is to end the game. So if you get a first down right here, this game's over with. Miami has no timeouts right here. Minute 29, up by 5. So huge play. They motion this guy around right here. And they're running GT back this way, but they're arcing here. So if you're looking at it, there's nobody right here with this alley. So if you arc, you get outside shoulder here, arc gets outside shoulder here, and just toss that ball to him while we're faking GT. You should be able to get the edge. And right there, nobody widens, so toss it to him. Easy job here. Tight end works around. Fullback, he's working right there to that outside shoulder as well. Great job right here with the surrender call, knowing what the situation is here as well. So right there, they toss it. They get the edge. They're running GT. If they would have widened out, I think you fake that and then you run the quarterback GT back to the left. But instead, they know they got the edge, and they know the surrender call. Hey, we've got to get down right here. Don't score. Get a first down, and right here, running right to stick so you can see it. But once we get past the sticks, let's get down, and let's just take a knee and move on right there. So great job. Understand the situation, and a great play call right there with that 4-minute offense. Had to have been something they saw on film and had in, knowing that they feel like they get that edge. Again, hey, great call, great play, and then great execution right there with the surrender to get down to end the game. Here's just an extension of the run game right here on this one. 2nd and 1. And on this, you've got this guy working across. He's going to the flats. And I'm not sure what they're really looking for. So right here, if you're reading this defensive end, everybody else is running inside zone. You see him, he gets upfield and he pauses a little bit. It should be a hand. So I'm not sure if they're pulling that, just looking for man coverage or what they're doing. But they pull it, and he gets out in space. Corner comes off. Now, again, this just shows Miami struggling to tackle the guy in space. And right there again, quarterback Haynes King freezes a guy just with a little bit of a shake and then outruns him and gets a first down right here. So it's just one of those things. I don't understand how Miami's so bad at tackling, especially they have this out leveraged. But either way, great play there by Haynes King. Gets a first down there against a really talented defense in Miami right there in the 3rd quarter. So you've seen the run game, seen some different things that they had in certain situations, and had a lot of really good schemes, and obviously just being physical. Right here, we're going to look at the exact same play, but now we're looking at 3rd down. So right here, 3rd downs, they're 65%. That's how they're able to control the game right here. 3rd and 1, of course, anytime you're 3rd and 1, it's a lot better than Miami. You saw a lot of Miami being 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, and those are a lot more difficult, obviously. So right here, inside zone, you got 2 tight ends set. He's working across. Same play. He's coming in to block whoever should be manned up on him. They get a pull read this time on that. So right here, again, if you're reading here, he squeezes that hard. Great as a pull read. Let's go ahead and get outside. We can flip this out there to the fullback. Fullback catches it. He's behind line of scrimmage, so everybody can be blocking downfield. One-on-one with the defender. We've got to get a yard, and barely gets a yard. Pretty good job here by this corner. Get him on the ground. But, again, when all you need is a yard, it's a lot easier to get. So right there, first down, pretty good execution. Just making sure you get exactly what you need to move the stick, stay on the field. Of course, Georgia Tech didn't just have a long way to go again here. 3rd and 1. This is, again, part of 65%. Just quarterback sneak, piling it in there, find a way to move the pile right there, and they get 4 or 5 yards. They got a guy over the center, and they got 2 guys in the A gap, and they're still able to move this 3 or 4 yards. So really good sign there as far as just strength and those guys up front for Georgia Tech being able to move people. Here was a huge play in the game, and of course Georgia Tech right there down by 3, and Georgia Tech was much better in the red zone. Their efficiency was much better than Miami. And right on this one, they started out, you had 2 receivers that are stacked here. They motioned a guy out wide. This is a big body, so right there, tight end. And all they're running is a screen. So once he gets wide, you see that corner getting out there. These guys communicate, so they're a little bit slow to get down to it. Just blocks right there. He takes his man off. Boom, just catches, rips it out there. Back goes away, trying to take his man with them in the line. They just show hi-hat, hi-hat, and then they're going to release. Boom, he's trying to swat by, slip flat, and get a kick. So right now, wide receiver has it. His tight end actually whiffed. Now he got this tackle out, guard out. These guys trying to retrace. And, of course, whenever you thought you were about to get some contact and you're trying to lean against the guy, a lot of times those D linemen, they fall down, which is exactly what happens. Right here, he tried to swim move him, and then once he slipped, he just lost his balance, went down. There's the kick. There's the lineman out front. Just, again, getting the ball out in space. Miami struggled with tackling. And right here on this one, tons of bodies here. And this is a huge play in the game. And it makes 2 guys miss and finds a way to fight to get into the end zone. Of course, Miami struggled a little bit more than Georgia Tech did in the red zone goal line. This is a 3rd and goal. If they get a stop right here, this is a big play. I mean, this is a 4-point swing right here. Instead of holding them to a field goal, this ends up being 7 points. So great play, great effort here by the receiver. Didn't look like there was much there, but he fought his way into the end zone. Huge touchdown there for Georgia Tech. This is another huge play in the game right here. And Miami going to a 1-high look, outside leverage here. and they still end up throwing a fade down here to the single receiver. So one high look, his eyes actually go over there to the trips. So right there, he's not looking at the quarterback's eyes. He's just reading the receivers, what it looks like. And right there, Haynes King just throws off his back foot. This is actually Aaron Philo, however you say it. But anyway, he's back at quarterback in the game. He just flips it off his back foot right there, throwing the fade. Even with outside leverage, he ends up inside releasing that, getting close to the safety, but just puts it right in the right spot, makes a play off his back foot. Again, huge play in the game, 3rd and 9. They're probably thinking they're trying to go over here, or it needs to be an outside release fade. Right there, outside leverage by the corner, and they just end up being ball players right there. Great throw and catch. 3rd and 9. Again, huge play. That's what Georgia Tech did. They made huge plays on 3rd down, especially in red zone goal line. That ended up getting a big win against Miami. Here's another look. This time at 3rd and 18. Right here again, Philo again right here. Miami. What are you guys doing, guys? I mean, it's one of those things. They're playing way too far off. They got it back to the flat. Looks like they're going high-low here. Fullback's working across, and you've got these guys just dragging, trying to get to the sticks, and these safeties are playing so far off. Quarterback, not real comfortable, but whenever you have the guy get that wide open in the middle of the field, what in the world are we doing? Now, I understand they're playing fast, getting downhill right here on that. It's 3rd and 18. He's sitting right here for whatever reason, not guarding the soul, just kind of hanging out. Looking at that fullback, that again, it's a 2-yard route. They're dropping for whatever, and these safeties are playing way off. I mean, look at this cat. I mean, we were 20 yards deep and still giving ground, not guarding a soul. Guys wide open on a 3rd and 18. Great job right there. I mean, apparently it's the greatest design of all time to get a guy with nobody around him on a 3rd and 18. I mean, look at that. That is a 10-yard bubble. Any side of that receiver with nobody around, nobody even looking at him. Easy throw and catch. Great job. Apparently the best design in the history of football by Georgia Tech's offense. Another good design, of course, air raid concepts right here all over the place. Even though you're getting in the pro-style set, so you got a condensed receiver, you got a fullback, motion a guy out right here, and you're getting some sort of a smash or vertical. So right here, I think maybe this is a slot fade, maybe verticals, whatever it is. Receiver, he's inside releasing, working across. He's going to work here, and he's going to work to the basic or a curl. So really, it's just Y cross. So old air raid concept. And when this outside linebacker drops, safety stays over the top, so we're taking 3 over 2. These linebackers don't do a great job finding these guys working across. And this is a really good job here by the backup quarterback, throwing off his back foot. He's got a guy right in his face. And again, 3rd down, some poise, stands up tall, throws this guy open through the window. Great throw and catch here. Again, way too much space on a 3rd down. I understand condensed sets might not want to play man-to-man all the time, but right there, just way too much space in that zone coverage, and they're able to exploit it there for Georgia Tech on a 3rd and 8. Of course, we just talked about 3rd downs being huge for Georgia Tech, especially in the red zone goal line. And same way going back the other way for Miami. They just weren't great red zone goal line. They're at 3rd and 5, and they're just running 4 verts is what it looks like here. They're in a trip set, 4-man rush, some sort of zone coverage, maybe man up top there to the single. But right here on this one, miscommunication. He throws like it's outside vertical trying to go fade, and he's breaking off maybe to the middle of the field. I'm really not sure what's going on. But as far as the numbers, it doesn't look right. Probably should be going to the middle of the field there with that seam, even though this mic is staying a little bit low when that back starts getting out. We could pop that to him. I know that backside safety's eyeballing that. But some sort of a miscommunication, and there are way too many Georgia Tech defenders out here. Man, we got 3 Georgia Tech defenders on this one guy for the most part. Not sure why we're trying to force it there. Must have been a miscommunication. And again, that led to a field goal. Again, 4-point swing. If you get a first down right here, stay on the field, you might get 7 instead of 3. I mean, there were tons of opportunities for Miami, and they just weren't able to convert, and that's where Georgia Tech did. Another look here of a Miami play where it's snuffed out here by Georgia Tech. Unbalanced set, and I really don't like the call as far as going to your left. That really makes it difficult for the quarterback. Right there, back's going to the flats. You got the tight end goes right there. Great job having some instincts, knowing that there could be some sort of a play action right here. They're dropping underneath it. There's really nothing there, and these guys just playing fast. And, of course, quarterback's really good. You got to make sure you keep him contained. That's probably another option they felt like they could get the edge and possibly run with the quarterback. But here on this one, they took away number 1, which is the back. Number 2 is this tight end that's working to the corner, and they fall underneath it. And then number 3 is probably the quarterback run. So right here now we're off schedule, and they're not able to connect right here, trying to throw back shoulder to that running back. Anytime you get him to throw back shoulder fade to a running back that, you know, he's probably not catching just a ton of back shoulder throws, probably going to be advantageous for you. And, of course, not the most accurate ball there either, rolling to your left. So, again, big stop right here by Georgia Tech's defense against Miami on a 4th and 1. It's a huge play right here. Saw blitz, bringing Sam and Will, cover 0, and this ball's got to get out. I mean, it's one-on-ones everywhere as far as pass pro. Green dog here by the mic. 7 guys into the rush. You're not going to have it all day. Nobody's open. Look at this coverage. Great job. Tight windows. And now you've done the hard part. You've done the easy part as far as blitzing everybody and guarding everybody. Now you got to get this guy on the ground. And this is just a huge play. I mean, a little bit of contain, run to the football, get it out. And again, this saves a 2-point conversion. So, of course, it ends up just being a 5-point game. That keeps Miami from just being down a field goal. So this is a huge play right here. 2-point conversion, getting the big stop, big sack, getting that ball out as well. But anytime you keep them off the scoreboard there, stop 2-point conversion, always huge. Gives you a little bit of momentum after they just scored a touchdown. Here's another look of a key play here for Georgia Tech's defense. 4th and 16, and Miami decides they're going to go for it. I know they're down by 12. I guess analytics would say go for it, but it's very unlikely you're going to get a 4th and 16 right here. I think a 5-man rush, so you get 5 man into the rush. You got 6 guys back in coverage. And right here on this one, they do hit home. So they got a couple guys get free on the quarterback. They run through the running back, make him really uncomfortable. They're trying to run crossers here. I really think they're trying to hit that single working all the way across, but they don't have the time to get there. So right there, huge play for Georgia Tech. Keeps them off the scoreboard after they got into the red zone. And right there, hitting home with that blitz and not able to let that guy work all the way across the field was huge. Well, where Miami's trying to work. So right there, hitting home, get him on the ground. Obviously one of the most dynamic players in the country. Georgia Tech did that quite a bit and really made Cam Ward uncomfortable and played a really good game all night. And of course, right here, just the play that basically ended the game. And just 3-man rush. They have to go down and score a touchdown. They're on about 5 with about 1:40 left. They got 2 timeouts, so they got all the time in the world here for Miami. They feel good about it. But right here, rushers. They hit home. They do a great job in coverage. They got 8 guys back in coverage and just a little bit loose with the football. Cam Ward gets it knocked out. Georgia Tech scrambling for it, and they recover it. Huge play here for Georgia Tech. And, of course, beating the number 4 team in the country is a huge thing for this guy right here. Instilled a lot of toughness, which is something that they hadn't had at Georgia Tech since Paul Johnson. The run game is dynamic. They're pretty good on defense, and they're just creating an identity of toughness and just hard work, which the people of Atlanta and the fans of Georgia Tech love it. But that was an awesome game for Georgia Tech. But I really appreciate you guys watching. If you like that video, click right here. There should be a video possibly somewhere in this area, and that's what YouTube thinks you'll like. So click on that video. We'll see you guys again in the next one.